Hey guys, welcome back to Jazz Piano Lessons, and we're looking at, this is day 4 of our Diminished 6 Scale Practice Challenge. And hey, if you haven't already, grab the workbook. In fact, if you have, grab it again, because I just realized that I made a mistake with this particular lesson, with the 6th and the diminished 7th chords there in the notation. I've just fixed it up, so go download that again. Sorry about that, my apologies. At jazzpianolessons.online, you can go check that out if you don't know where to go. All right, so I'm not going to go through all 12 in this lesson because I've already written it out for you. Now, if you want that, let me know and I'll see what I can do. But you probably can work that out for yourself. All right. Now, here's the interesting thing, that as we go up, you know, if I was just doing major 7 chords going up a normal scale, you know, you would just kind of follow the normal pattern. We get major, minor, minor, major, dominant, minor, half diminished, etc. Right? When we do that, no matter what key, if we did it with F, that'd be the same thing. As long as we kept playing a B flat instead of a B, that would always happen, right? We get the same chords every time. Now, it's the same thing here. As long as we keep adding in that flattened 6th, we're going to get a diminished chord every second chord, all right? And in between that, the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 7 are going to be a major 6th chord of some sort, all right? So in the key of C here, we've got our C6. Then we're going to go to a D diminished, or you can think of it as a B diminished. You can kind of think of it as like a G7 flat 9 as well, which is kind of cool. So it's really, in some ways, and this is why this scale is so interesting and fun to play, is that it's going 1 5 1 5 1 5 1 5, where the 5 is a flattened 9. Okay. Now I know in this case we're not putting the G in there, but it still kind of acts the same way. And the romantic composers like Chopin and you know, Tchaikovsky and you know, even the late classical like Beethoven and all that, they were using these diminished chords kind of like a 5 chord, right? So they were just calling it a 7 chord, but they were kind of using them like 5 chords because it's really just an extension, right? So as their musical experience wanted to go a little bit further with harmony, they were adding in these extra notes. So that's really what's going on. We've got all right. So it might be worth practicing the diminished chords just as inversions, and then practicing the 6th chord as an inversion. All right, and we're alternating between the two. All right, C6. B diminished, C6, B diminished, C6, B diminished. All right, so in some ways, if you've got a little bit of chord knowledge, you're probably going to find this part easier than doing the chromatics, the contrary motion scales that we did on day 2 and the contrary motion with the thirds, right, on day 3. In some ways, this might be easier. Now, just remember, Barry Harris just says this all the time. He says, okay, the G is followed by the A flat. Okay, so, all right, what's next? So I'm thinking, all right, I've got to bring everything up. I bring that up, bring that up, bring that up to the A flat, bring that up. Okay, and just keep following the scale as I go up. And you end up with major 6, diminished, major 6, diminished, major 6, diminished, which is really cool. All right, so I'm not putting that in every key for you. Go and use the workbook with that, and also just use your mind to kind of try and work that out. You know, you start off with the F6 when you go to the next one, okay? F6. You can think as you go, all right, F6 diminished, F6 diminished, F6 diminished if you want to. All right, diminished, F6, diminished. You can think of it like that if you want to as you go, or just keep thinking. All right, the D. It's a lowered 6, right? So the D is lowered, right? So every time I play the C, I've got to follow it with the D flat. All right, there's a C, so I've got to follow it with a D flat. All right, you can think of it like that if you want to as well. Go around the 12 keys, see how you go. Now, I did have a comment earlier today that said, you know, hey, there's a lot to learn here, and that's true. So what I would encourage you is just to learn as much as you can in the 10 days. When we get to day 9 and day 10, when we're going to apply it to some tunes, we're not going to be doing it in every key, you know, so you don't need to know everything perfectly by then, okay? But you can have a great foundation, and by the time you get to day 9, day 10, if you're doing a little bit each day, you are going to be smashing it. All right, I'll see you guys soon for whatever the next day is. Day 5, I think. All right, see you guys. Bye.